Hey everybody, it's Amanda from Ready, Set, Sit here at the training room at the Los Alamos Dog House. And we started classes this week up here and all classes are full and we're really excited. The first night of classes can get really exciting, just like Trip here is very excited. And so I wanted to do some brief videos for each class to demo some of the things that we learn in the first class or will work on in the second class. So I'm going to use my 3 dogs and show you each an exercise from each of the classes. So stay tuned. First up is going to be Love and Manners for Puppies. Okay, here we are with Brian again, who actually loves his food. So I'm going to show you what I call Doggy Taichi. I like to put food in both hands. And I kind of put it in the palm of my hand and cup it and hold it down with my thumb. That way the dog can kind of drive into the palm of your hand. And the fun thing about this, good boy, is it incorporates a little bit of chasing, which they love. And it also allows us to maneuver the dog in different positions in different ways. So a lot of times before I teach sitting downs, I want to teach the dog, how to follow the treat. So he's chasing it, licking it, trying to get it, pushing, trying to touch the treat. And he doesn't get it until I say, yes. And then I open up my palm a little bit and let him have a treat. All right? And I'm just using the cones here to really work on myself, that I'm not cutting myself short and getting him to move. See how he just ran over that? It's a little lazy. All right, so the other thing that you want to do is it's really fun to get your dog into the treat, pushing, chasing, because that will help you manipulate their bodies into certain positions. So for example, the down, right? So I get him here, get him chasing the treat. Get it. When I have him here, he's committed to the treat, which means he wants it. He's licking it, but he can't have it. And then I use my position, my hand position, to teach him where I want his body to go. As soon as his butt hits the ground, I say yes, and he's allowed to get up. So here we are, he's committed, which means he's licking the treat. He wants the treat. He wants the treat. You want it? Get it. Yes! So here with Brian, even though he's going to be learning competitive heeling, I still always use a command with my dogs, usually with me. That means I just want you to stay in this area and not drag me all over. So I'm going to show you with puppies how I like to kind of start this, because not every dog is going to be crazy about food, and then you're going to get some dogs maybe that are a little older and have been sort of pulling out ahead of the leash for a long time. If you've been training with me for a little while, you've probably seen this. But again, this is taken from Susan Garrett's reinforcement zone, using that. And what I like to do first is you get the puppy here, and you're going to start out walking backwards. And your hand needs to be glued at the seam of your pants, because the object is to not let the dog go past you forward. We want them to stay back. They're walking forward, you're walking backwards. So even if he pulls out ahead of me or to the side, he must come into the side of my pants to get that treat. So this is called reinforcement zone. Right here, we're making this a really happy place. You can usually start out doing this still next to the dog, like this. So lots of little rewards here. So this is a really good place to be. Then eventually, you can test your dog to see how well they are figuring out where they should be. So if your dog is here, you want to turn in front of the dog and walk next to the dog. Now if I were to do that and the dog busted out in front of me, that tells me that I'm not ready to start moving forward yet, that I need to stay backwards for a little longer. Once the dog starts understanding where they should be and where the high value reward is, then you can add a word such as with me, walk, let's go, whatever you want, so that the dog starts learning where the happy place is. Just like that, with me. Good boy. Give him lots of praises and loves. This is just our informal walking on a leash. he loves his treats. Yes. The last thing I'm going to do with Brian tonight is show you a little bit of the collar grab, right? So a lot of times we talk about with recall, we talk about people calling their dog, you know, if I don't come. That's great, but if you can't grab the dog and you can't get him by the collar, then you don't have a complete recall. So what I like to do is just, when the dog is walking around, let's say you're in your house, put your hand out, grab the collar, yes, yes, and treat, right? So grabbing the collar is always a good thing. Only 1 out of 100 may you need to grab that collar, yes, for something negative. And typically when you're doing this, you don't want to have the treat down in front. We're not asking them to, we don't want to bribe them, but rather I just hold the treat behind my back. He knows I have it, but some days I may not have it, right? Yes, grab the collar, yes, give it a little pull on there, and then give him his treat. So there you go, that's the collar grab for your puppies.